From within the low grass, a shape slithered forward like a ghost silent swift. It was a lion, the apex predator approaching its target with surgical precision. No sound, no warning, only a quiet death, breathing closer with each step. It sprang, a perfect pounce guided by instincts sharpened over millennia of evolution. But this time something unexpected happened. The prey did not flee. It didn't turn to run. It stood its ground, lowered its stance, and stared straight into the eyes of the hunter. Before the lion stood a Cape buffalo, a creature known across the savannah for its strength and unyielding courage. Not an easy meal, but a challenger willing to die on its feet. When horn met flesh, the air seemed to shudder. The lion's body was tossed crashing to the earth like an amateur in its first fight. The upper hand vanished. All that remained was dazed confusion. From one pounce, everything reversed. The hunter became the hunted. Think you know how it ends, brace yourself. Because what comes next will leave you breathless in every frame.
Marjon!
At 6:20 a.m., we came across a large herd of buffalo. The safari vehicle carried 21 family members from around the world, filled with excitement and togetherness. But just 20 minutes later, all that peace was broken. A radio signal guided us to the last known location of a lion pride. By 6:46, the lions began to move, and we decided to follow. Their destination, the grazing buffalo herd. Just a few minutes later, at 6:53, 2 male lions joined 3 lionesses. The distance between them and a small calf was perilously close. In an instant, the lionesses charged and brought the calf down. A lion cub emerged from the nearby thicket. I quickly reached for my video camera while my wife and kids started taking photos. As we were all still trying to make sense of the chaos, something unexpected happened. The buffalo didn't stand still. They gathered strength, moving forward as one. Led by the bulls, they formed a front line and launched a counterattack. But what struck me the most was the mother. She didn't back down. Alone, she stood against the pride to protect her calf. And in that defining moment, her bravery gave the calf a chance to escape. But that same act made her the target, and she paid the ultimate price. A pride of lions seemed to have the upper hand during an attack on a buffalo herd. But things quickly spiraled out of control when the buffalo turned back and fought. Chaos erupted. A group of buffalo wheeled around, charging headfirst into the lion. An old lion, already injured, failed to escape in time. It was knocked down and trampled repeatedly for 15 relentless minutes. Its body suffered severe damage, left drained under the herd's fury. The pride eventually returned to intervene, ending the onslaught. The old lion survived, though badly wounded. After 4 years of limping through the wild, it now faced another life or death trial. In nature, only the truly resilient endure to the end.
o'zbet yoki oling.
The calf was left behind in the open wilderness, and the watchful eyes of predators didn't miss the opportunity. On March 21st, 2017, at the Mjejain Reserve Veteran Guide, Cliff Butlin and his guests witnessed a life and death moment unfold right before them. At first, the herd had successfully rescued the calf from a lion ambush. But as they moved on and chaos erupted, the young one couldn't keep up. Alone behind the bushes, it called out for its mother, unintentionally drawing the attention of nearby predators. The lions turned back, honing in on the vulnerable calf. Its mother never returned. She may have been injured, or perhaps the herd rejected the calf due to the scent of lions now clinging to it. Cliff shared, everything happened exactly as I expected, a moment that was both heartbreaking and raw. That night, the lion pride lingered in the area. One misstep, one cry, and the calf's fate was sealed.
والله uzurga uchrashsam surat anaqa Instagramda menga подписанмisiz anaqa 1% ketkazib bora.
Two lions, one old, one young, sat calmly, basking in their moment of triumph. Before them lay a buffalo calf, recently brought down. There was no rush. They rested, alert, their eyes scanning the horizon, watching for any sign of the herd's return. And then it happened. The ground began to tremble with the thunder of determined hooves. The buffalo herd returned, not as retreating prey, but as a force reclaiming their own. Out of the hundreds, one bull charged ahead. In a blink, it rammed the calf with a mighty blow, not to harm it, but to lift it free from the lion's claws. That strike was a message, a fierce warning to the predators. We are back, and this time we will not back down. The lions hesitated, stepping back. Instinct told them the hunt was no longer safe. In the wild, strength doesn't always lie in claws or fangs. Sometimes it roars from the courage and unity of those who seem weakest. On a misty morning in the savannah, the Mjejain lion pride was tracking a large herd of buffalo. Alongside them were 9 cubs, young and still learning the harsh rules of survival. Suddenly, the buffalo turned and launched a counterattack. One frightened lion cub scrambled up a fallen marula tree for safety. But the buffalo weren't letting up. They surrounded the base of the tree, eyes locked on the tiny predator. A lead buffalo charged forward, slamming into the trunk. A branch snapped. The cub slipped, narrowly avoiding a deadly blow. Another violent strike uprooted the entire tree. The cub tumbled to the ground, landing right beneath the buffalo's hooves. By sheer luck, a branch caught on the buffalo's back, throwing it off balance. The cub seized the moment, sprang to its feet, and dashed back to safety. A narrow escape in the rawest theatre of the wild. A massive male lion, alone and full of might, did the unthinkable. He brought down a full-grown bull buffalo all by himself. The confrontation took place in the dry riverbed of Biamiti, where the lion faced not only a massive prey, but also the fierce resistance of the herd trying to rescue one of their own. Amid clouds of swirling dust, echoing roars, and the thunder of hooves, the lion never gave in. With decisive bites and relentless holds in a breathless struggle, he succeeded in subduing the buffalo. It seemed the hunt was over, but the lion didn't stop. He used every ounce of strength to drag the carcass across the dry riverbed, undeterred by the heat and the watching eyes of the herd in the distance. Every step was a testament to power and will. This was more than real. It was a declaration. In nature, true strength belongs to those who never quit.
Mahsulotni qo'lingizga olgan.
Ish tilayman, kambag'allikka qarshi kurash boshlanibdi. Kambag'alliklar yo'q bo'ladi.
Who do you think would win? A trio of lions, 3 hyenas, or a lone buffalo? But in a surprising twist, it was an Audi that got caught in the chaos. At around 9:15 a.m., 3 young lions and 3 hyenas were seen cooperating in an attack on a buffalo. But the buffalo refused to surrender. Even after being tackled to the ground, it rose back up, thrashing its sharp horns at the predators, forcing the lions to retreat a few steps. Seizing the moment, the buffalo broke free and ran, chased nearly 700 meters west. In a panic near the junction, it suddenly turned and rammed straight into a parked Audi. The car's front grille was shattered. 2 eyewitnesses, Sabiha and Rehana Mullah, recalled, "We were watching when suddenly the buffalo charged the car. It shook violently. It all happened in seconds." By midday, the lions had withdrawn and the hyenas still lingered. But by 2 p.m., all had vanished. What happened in the end? No one knows. This wasn't just a hunt. It was a raw display of survival instinct and a reminder of the wild's unpredictable chaos. We had just finished brunch when the air was suddenly torn by a panicked bellow echoing from across the Sand River, the unmistakable cry of a buffalo in distress. I turned to my guests and asked, "Do you want to witness this?" No one hesitated. All rushed to the vehicle, ready for an unpredictable encounter. Within minutes, we arrived at the scene. The Kambula Pride, about 22 lions, had encircled a fully grown bull buffalo. It kicked and bellowed, flinging off lions with raw force. Then another buffalo charged in to help, its horns aimed straight at the predators. A clash erupted, dust clouding the air. It was a brave move, but not enough to change the tide. In the end, the bull collapsed in exhaustion. The lions began their feast on the open plain, closing a dramatic chapter of survival in the wild. Largest bulls, nearly 2,000 pounds each, to the front line, forming a defensive wall of hide, horn, and unshakable will. They closed in. One leapt onto the vulnerable bull's flank. But the buffalo warriors refused to surrender. The herd returned. Once, the lion pride launched a sudden attack. Hooves pounded, roars tore through the air. One buffalo was brought down, while the rest of the herd fled, watching anxiously from a distance. A tourist named Colin believed it was all over for the fallen animal. But then, about 20 buffalo returned. Their eyes blazed with determination. They moved in formation, launching a coordinated counterattack. Sharp horns thrust forward. Piercing gazes forced the predators to back off. In the midst of the tension, 2 bull buffalo even locked horns with each other, momentarily forgetting their goal. Yet the resolve of the herd was undeniable. Though the injured buffalo could not rejoin them, what remained was a powerful truth. In the wild, courage and unity can ignite hope, even in the bleakest moments. Colin later recalled, "I had only ever seen scenes like this on National Geographic, but now I saw it with my own eyes and felt incredibly lucky. Watching the buffalo come together to protect one of their own was deeply moving. It felt like they were showing us something profound, that in our hardest times, unity and compassion are the greatest strengths we have." 3 lionesses charged like living arrows, targeting a buffalo bull separated from the herd. But instead of finishing it quickly, they aimed to exhaust it. One leapt onto its back, biting into the spine. The other 2 attacked from behind, trying to sever its tendons and bring the giant down. But the buffalo refused to fall. It fought back, swinging its horns in desperation. Its cries echoed across the grassland. The herd turned around, tightening their formation, and charged like a living wall. Powerful thrusts of their horns forced the lions to temporarily retreat. The battle dragged on. The lions returned. The buffalo rallied again. At times, the wounded bull seemed on the brink of collapse, but the others never abandoned it. Just when all seemed lost, another wave of defenders would arrive. Finally, the bull ran out of strength. It collapsed, unable to rise. The lions, exhausted but victorious, settled beside their still-breathing prize. When the lion cubs arrived, the scene shifted. They pounced on the first bites with excitement, while the lionesses panted heavily, watching from a distance. This was more than predator versus prey. It was a testament to the power of unity, the instincts of survival, and the harsh beauty of the wild. As the dust began to settle, a startling sight emerged. A young buffalo, perhaps 8 to 10 months old, pinned down but still alive. Strangely, the 3 adult lionesses, members of the Nahu Pride, did not kill it immediately. One of them quietly left the scene and let out a familiar call. From across the dam, 10 lion cubs, no more than 6 months old, appeared and cautiously approached the prey. This was the beginning of a survival lesson. Clumsy pounces, awkward bites, mingled with low growls and instructional nudges from their mothers. At times, the lioness would simulate a neck or throat bite only to release it, demonstrating the kill technique for the cubs to mimic. In that moment, the young buffalo was no longer just a victim. It became a living tool, a vital part of the cub's education at the cost of its life. The scene was both tragic and biologically profound. It served as a stark reminder that in nature, even the harshest acts serve a purpose: the preservation of life. In this 24,000-hectare reserve, where lion and buffalo populations are both dense, moments like these are not uncommon. Yet each time, observers can't help but hold their breath, witnessing instinct, instruction, and the unforgiving beauty of the wild in perfect harmony. Two buffalo calves thrashed helplessly within the tightening circle of a pack of African wild dogs. The scene was staggering claws' fangs, and the gut-wrenching cries of panic shattered the once peaceful morning. There was no warning, no chance to escape. The herd had been scattered chaos spreading like wildfire, and the wild dogs, organized, precise, and merciless, seized every gap to trap their prey. At the center of the maelstrom, the two calves collapsed swiftly, becoming part of a brutal feast. The buffalo herd was fragmented. As some tried to regroup, lead dogs surged forward, triggering a renewed wave of panic. Two more calves were lost amid the confusion. One group of 4 adult buffalo and a calf was completely isolated, and the young one met the same grim fate.
Another one.
Just when it seemed all was lost, a mother buffalo charged back into the fray, bellowing fiercely, flinging several dogs aside with her horns. For a heartbeat, hope flickered, but it was short-lived. The pack retaliated en masse. Overwhelmed by sheer numbers and speed, the mother was forced to retreat, leaving her calf to fall. In under 30 minutes, 5 calves were taken. The air rang with agonized cries, ragged breathing, and frenzied footsteps, a raw display of both helplessness and desperate defiance. A shocking spectacle, harsh yet true to the law of survival in the wild. Even seasoned guides were stunned by the rare ferocity of the moment. African wild dogs do not hunt alone, they orchestrate their assault like a disciplined army. Divide, distract, destroy. This was not just a hunt, it was a rare glimpse into the lethal precision and pack strength of one of Africa's most efficient predators.
Buffalo's going for it. Going for that.
A pride of lions lay hidden atop a rocky outcrop eyes, locked on every movement below. At 5:15 p.m, a lone elephant calf appeared without its mother. In an instant, the lions charged. Just when it seemed the calf would be brought down, a herd of buffalo emerged, stomping the ground with force, sending dust and dry grass swirling into the air, an unmistakable sign of rage and territorial defiance. One buffalo lowered its head and charged its curved horn, nearly striking a lion. Caught off guard by the fierce retaliation, the lions retreated. Seizing the moment, the elephant calf bolted toward two nearby bull elephants. But regrettably, they did not respond. The lions regrouped, and this time the scene disappeared behind the bush out of sight. This moment is a stark reminder. In the wild, strength doesn't always guarantee safety.
Excuse me. Not going with the buffaloes. Sure. I don't know where the mother.
Suddenly,